Imagine someone signs up for your free ebook, or a potential client goes and fills out your contact form on your website, only to get an email that shows up like this. Whoa, that looks really bad, doesn't it? I mean, this is probably one of the best ways to get your audience to not trust you at all. But that's even if your email gets delivered in the first place. Sadly, this is the result of using the default emailing option in WordPress, and it's known as WP Mail. This is the name of the function, it's the name of the PHP function that WordPress uses by default. It uses this function to send the emails, and almost always, especially in today's world where spamming and scamming is so widespread, these emails will either show up with a big warning message, they'll show up in the spam folder, or they may just not even show up at all. Big providers like Gmail like to block, messages that aren't authenticated, which is the problem with these messages and why they're doing this. So how do you actually go about fixing this problem then? Hi, I'm Kyle Johnson from EscapeFromTheNorm.com, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the easiest possible way that you can deal with this problem. Luckily, this method uses a free, simple, and easy to use WordPress plugin. So once you're done watching this video, you're not going to have to worry about your emails showing up with this big, scary message attached to it. You're not going to have to worry about it showing up in the, spam folder, or not even showing up at all. You can be confident that your emails are going to actually show up in the main inbox and be very deliverable. And best of all, they'll be authenticated so that Gmail and big providers like that will have no problem delivering these emails. So let's go ahead and get the plugin first. Okay, so before I actually get the plugin, I just wanted to show you this in action, before you fix this problem. So I'm here on my homepage of my website. This is my test website, obviously. And if you scroll all the way down, you can see there's a test form here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this out, put my name, one of my emails. I'll just put this as test1, ... and then I'll click contact me. Now, the way that this form is programmed, when I, when a customer fills this form out, it's going to send an email to my Gmail account. So now that it's been sent, let's go ahead and come over to my Gmail account, and we'll refresh just to make sure that it's been sent. And as you can see, one of them showed up, so I'm going to click on it. Now, as you can see, there's a problem right here. So there's a question mark here, and if you hover over it, this thing's kind of in the way, but it says Gmail couldn't verify the email was actually sent from this email. So basically it means it could be a spoofed email, and that's a big problem. Now, sometimes it's even worse than this. Sometimes there'll be a big red message like the one that I showed at the beginning of the video, and that's even worse if your customers are receiving that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that plugin. So I'm on my WordPress dashboard. What I'm going to do is hover over plugins, click add new, and then I'm going to search for WP SMTP mail, click search, and it's this one right here with the little chicken. So I'm going to click install, and then I'm going to click activate. Okay, and once that's activated, if you come over here on the left hand pane, you'll see WP mail SMTP. You can just click on that, and this will bring you to all the settings where you set it up. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the method to actually authenticating your email with SMTP so you don't get these issues of non-delivery or these warning messages with Gmail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my SiteGround account. Now, SiteGround makes this real easy because they already set up, SPF, Dkim. You still have to put the Dmarc record in, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, and also the text that you put in there. Okay, so now I'm on my SiteGround account, and I've clicked websites, and then this is the website that I'm going to get the email information from. I'm going to click Site Tools. Now, I've already created the email account that I'm going to be using. So if you haven't created an email account, and whether you're using SiteGround or someone else, go ahead and create the email account that you want to use to send emails with WordPress. And then what you're going to do, if you're in Site, you're going to come down here to email, and then accounts, and then you're going to scroll down in the account that you want to use to send the email. What you're going to do is click this little hamburger icon, and then click mail configuration, and then manual settings. These are going to be all your settings that you're going to need to set up the SMTP. So the first thing I'm going to do is just highlight the email address and copy it. Then I'm going to come back over here, and we'll go through each one of these deals. Now, this first thing, license key, this is if you purchase the pro version of this. I'm just using the free version. You don't need the pro version for this. There are added benefits to having the pro version, but I'm going to just proceed with the free version. So you can do the setup wizard. I'm going to just do it right here like this because it's easier. So the from email, the email that I want to send all the emails, like if they enter a form or anything like that, I'm going to use this email, and that's the one I just copied from over here. And you want to make sure, if you want all the emails that WordPress sends to be from one email, which that's what I recommend, because if it sends from another email that's not authenticated, you're going to have the same issues. So I always recommend checking that, and basically it'll override, like if there's a contact form that has a different email that it's going to send from, it's going to override it with this email right here. And then your from name, I would recommend either putting your name or your business name, one of the two. You could also put things like support or whatever. It just depends on what this is going to be used for. And then I always check force from name just to make it simple so that it overrides any other names that any other apps might have. And then for the mailer, I'm going to click other SMTP, and then I'm going to scroll down here, and these are the SMTP settings. Okay, so this first one is the SMTP host. Now, this is correct, but if you don't know what yours is, come back over here to the manual settings, and you'll see an incoming server, which is right here, and an outgoing server. If you notice, for SiteGround, both of these are the same, and it's just your domain name. So mine's escapingnews.com, and that's what you're going to put for the SMTP host, which it's already in there. And then for the encryption, SiteGround will not work if you put TLS. So with SiteGround, you put SSL, and that is going to be the setting for SiteGround. Now, your web host may be different. Some of them, it requires no authentication. So like I would try TLS first. If that doesn't work, try SSL, and then if that doesn't work, try none. Sometimes you have to kind of fiddle with the settings, but these are the correct settings for SiteGround. And then the SMTP port, I'm going to come back over here, and as you can see, it's 465, and that's already in there. And then auto TLS, since SiteGround doesn't support TLS, I'm going to turn that off. And then authentication, I'm going to leave on. And then the SMTP username, this is going to be your email, and then the password is going to be whatever you set for that email. Okay, now that all of that's done, what you need to do now is just click Save Settings, and you're all set to go if everything goes as planned. So now what we're going to do is the basic email test, and if that goes through, everything else should work, and then we'll do the contact form just to make sure. So I'm going to click Email Test, and then I'm going to put a recipient email. So I'll just put this email here, and then make sure HTML is turned on, and then click Send Email. Okay, and just to show you as an example like what it looks like when you have a problem, there's a little error message right here. It says the test email might have sent, but the deliverability should be improved. So what that means in this instance is Dmarc. There's not a Dmarc record on my server for this website. So I'm going to show you how to set that up as well. So I've got the record right here, what we need to put into the DNS Zone Editor. So this is a text record. So I'll zoom in momentarily on this so you can, copy the details. Now, obviously, you're going to want to put your email right here instead of mine. So I'm going to come back over here to SiteGround, and I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to go to my DNS Zone Editor, which is under Domain. Now, if you're with a different host, you might have to Google how to edit the DNS settings for that particular host, but it's all pretty similar. You just need to get to the DNS Zone Editor, basically where you edit the DNS records, and it'll look something like this. So in SiteGround, I just click Domain and then DNS Zone Editor. And you'll see like all these different things, like these different records, A, quadruple A, CNAME, MX, etc. And you'll see all the records down here. And so what you need to do to add the Dmarc record is, create a new text record. So I'm going to click Text, and then for the name, I'm going to just name it this, _Dmarc. So I'm going to copy that, paste that, and then the TTL, just leave it default. And then for the value, I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to actually put the email, because the email is different than what I had in that record. So what you'll want to do is place your email right here. And then I'm going to click Create. And then back. And so there's our Dmarc record. Now it's installed. So the way that you can tell if all this stuff's installed correctly is by using MX Toolbox. It's a free tool that you can use to check this stuff. So I'm gonna just type in MX Toolbox, and then I'm gonna click on this one, and I'm gonna put my domain, which is right here, and then click MX Lookup. Okay, and as you can see, it's passed all the tests. Now, there's other things also. See, like, one of the good things with SiteGround is that it automatically has SPF and Dkim, which, you know, like, if you're on a different host, it may not have that set up, but you can use this tool to check it. And if it's not set up, you'll have to set that up. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but that's how you set up the Dmarc, and that's how you check it. So I'm going to come back to this SMTP mail plugin, and I'm going to click email test again, and then I'm going to try it again and see if we still get that error message now that we actually have the Dmarc record installed. So I'm going to click send email, and we'll see what happens. Okay, the good news, now we have a success. Everything is done as should be. So I'm going to go over to the other email and check to make sure that it actually received the email. Okay, now we're in my other email, and as you can see, I got 2 of them. The first test that I sent actually did send despite the Dmarc not being in there, and then we got the other one, the latest one with the Dmarc. So I'm going to click on it and just confirm that everything looks correct. And as you can see, the test email came through correctly. Okay, so that's how you set up your WordPress website to actually use and authenticate with your web hosting SMTP server. This way your emails aren't going to spam, and they're actually deliverable, and you're not getting any of those crazy warning messages. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you want to see more videos like this in the future, where I walk you through step by step, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you'll get notified when I come out with future videos like this. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.